Hello. So today we are doing routing. I did this poll on Twitter to check if the hype behind TanStack Router is still there, and it's still there. People recommended. For the longest time, it was like neck and neck. So this was like 2/3 of the poll. It was kind of like the same votes, but yeah. Now, okay, did I miss that? Right. So this is a valid criticism, I think, and this is why I was checking if this is still a thing. Basically, uh, I think Tanner is a bit disoriented in a word of like what is React, what is React query, what is React router, like how do I do that? And yeah, yeah, interesting that I didn't see that message before. But yeah, that's why I was thinking like, should I be doing something? Because I was under impression that it's not moving too much. But I checked GitHub history; it's still happening. Still, Tyler is still building it. So we're going to look into it. We're going to look into it in terms of Astro, and you could be wondering, doesn't Astro already have a router? And it does. It does all the kind of like file based router things. You can do all sorts of kind of like static routing. You can do SSR routing, and that's all well and good until the question is, okay, but how do I navigate between pages and to stay in the same app, like in SPA. So they're actually working on this thing. And again, like if you read this issue, it's like, yeah, in the next few weeks we're going to decide, and that was like 2 months ago. So I don't know if maybe a bit of Steam is left this one as well, but I think this one is going to happen, and it kind of like has to happen. And they worked on Micromorph before, so yeah. Uh, uh, what this does, it's in a sense, it's like similar to Turbo. So what like IELTS framework, for example, does. Yeah, their documentation is written in IELTS, but when I click between pages, like my routing is changing and I get like new data, right? So like why doesn't Astro documentation do that? And I think they know that this is a thing and they need to like address it. And uh, but it's nowhere near ready, so we are not we're not talking about this. We are talking about TanStack Router. So TanStack Router is alternatives of TanStack Router are like in the order of popularity: React Router and Next.js Router, and some other frameworks that had to build router, right? I think Gatsby has its own router. What are the other like React, big React frameworks? And its main point is to provide you with type safety, which is not like a new feature. In other languages, frameworks could do something like this, but this time we're getting SPA type safe router, and we're getting JavaScript or TypeScript. I mean, JavaScript, TypeScript, who knows? What's the difference, right? Everyone is arguing about it on Twitters. So this is the only Astro example that is left in the React router. Oh, not React router. I keep calling it that. TanStack Router. This is the only one that is left. There used to be like just like Astro example, but I guess I don't know what happened apart from it like being renamed into Start, because that's like a framework that Tanner was again. Everything was fine a few months ago. They had Bling, they had uh, uh, TanStack Start with loader patterns and all that stuff. So it seemed like you should just like do it, and everything would be fine. But something didn't happen. Something went slightly wrong, and what happened is like next 13.2 or whatever, I forgot, like the release of reactor components, and that made everyone kind of like rethink what's happening. It's funny that uh, I like my prediction is that in the same way that how when um, in the same way how when hooks happened, everyone's like, yeah, we don't need to use Redux anymore. And now React Server Components happened, and everyone's like, yay, we don't need to use gRPC anymore. And I'm thinking, and React Query and gRPC. And I'm sitting here and thinking, yeah, but it still like does more than React Server Components. It's probably the same way how Redux was just like rethought and rewritten using hooks, and now it's like a Redux toolkit. This and I guess TypeScript also happened since then. The same way, I just expect that TRPC is going to be like a part of this like new server React. It's just it's going to change in some way, but I don't see a reason why you would like completely get rid of it. Uh, yeah, so but I think that was like a bit of like a hit to the morale of like uh, uh, especially like Tanner, because like everything that he was working on, React Query, uh, TanStack Start, and like Bling, everything had to be changed because of React Server Components. It used to be, oh, Quick was the latest, coolest framework, so let's just do like Bling stuff as Quick, and it's going to be fine. But now React is the coolest thing, so now I guess everyone has to do it anyway. Probably no one even knows at this point what Bling is, but so we're going to do this. I just started working on it, and then I thought, hey, I haven't streamed in a week. I should I should do something. So let's start. We're going to start actually with this like astro routing. So I'm using SSR, but in Astro you can uh, they did it. I disagree a bit in the way that they did it. Basically, Astro has two modes, like SSG and SSR mode. And once you're in SSR mode, you have to go into your every route and mark it as SSG. It feels like it would be like much more. For example, in Next.js, everything is like SSG, and you turn on SSR per route once you're using client components or something like that. I could be wrong on this, but it's funny that like Next.js is static by default, but Astro is SSR by default. uh, anyway, so we're using pre-render, and if you're using pre-render and your path has like dynamic routes, that means that you need to return this function get static path. And the idea is that I'm in like SRC pages survey, and then like dot 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 something. If I don't provide this parameter with a value, that means I'm in like an index route. If I'm providing like one of those values, that means I'm in those other pages. So um, if I build my project, you will see that it generates those files. Give it a second. Yeah. So now we generated slash survey, then it generated slash survey slash something slash survey. So it's like this one um, this one page or this one component. I don't know what's the better terminology. It generates like several HTTP pages. And again, if I don't do pre-render, and if I build it, then it will build it, but you won't see those survey things here. It's going to be rendered through like SSR function, which is not what I was going for. Just a funny side note, I'm generating robots.txt with Astro as well. So uh, it's also pre-render, so it's going to generate a static file during build. But now I can specify my site URL. I can like allow robots and all of that stuff using code instead of what we use right now is I think we have like a small bash script in production where it just like does some like a bits of logic, just like different robots.txt files for different branches. But here I can just use JavaScript, which is a bit more fun, and it results in the same static file. Um, so that's that. So I created all of those things, so I can go to survey or I can go to like some other page. Okay. Did I build something? It's taking so long. Okay, yeah. So and if I go between those pages, you see that it takes server navigation, and this is what we are going to this is what we are going to handle. Um, so first things first is we need to install the TanStack router. I don't know if they have like instructions anywhere. So this is basic. Yeah, so it has this. It also has actions and loaders. I didn't know that you need a separate package to use that. I was under impression that's the we're probably not going to use that. Like I'm not entirely like sure how all of this stuff works. Oh, interesting. They also have a DevTools. That's fun. I didn't see that before. Yeah, and it's on the right because the DevTools for uh, because the DevTools for React Query are on the left. I was curious how they are going to be competing. Okay, so um, where do we have like instructions how to install it? Yeah, Remix. We know that it's based. Loaders are really similar to Remix. Okay, installation React. Okay, yeah. So this one doesn't have those loaders and actions. Okay, so store. Interesting. Is that their own kind of like reactive primitive? Oops. Oh, that it? That could be it, huh? Yeah, so this is kind of the stuff that I looked before. DevTools. Okay, so I need to install DevTools separately. Loading mode. Okay, so what's the difference between floating mode and... Okay, we'll figure that out. Embedded mode. Okay, that seems like too many options. Comparison. I mean, that could be a cool thing to look at if you never heard of TanStack Router before. Uh, right, so those are the most popular, the most popular routing uh, options, right? So Next, Remix, and TanStack Router. Yeah, no one knows. It's all. Yeah, I guess they need to compare to Remix Router now. Yeah, I don't know how that works. Yeah, so Next doesn't do different ways of routing. They all do nested routing now. Type safe is only basically, I think both Remix and Next said something along the lines. Yeah, we know that it exists. If they will prove that it's a good feature, we will eventually implement it. Yeah, so type safe loaders, uh, some kind of like built-in React query, type safe actions. Yeah, so I don't know what's happening with actions now because of the blink thing. Okay. Navigation, scroll restoration, streaming, form API. Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is the query parsing for like search params. Yeah, they allow you to do JSON search params and type safe search params, all of that stuff. So uh, okay, yeah, that wasn't as interesting as I was hoping. Okay, so we did that. Oops. Okay, have solid version already. So routes, primary way configuring. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, and this TypeScript stuff. Yeah, I don't know which examples are kind of like the latest. So I'm afraid now to kind of like, yeah, this was 3 months ago as well. So it shouldn't be that outdated. Navigation, search params, data loading, data annotations. Okay. Does not store, not directly responsible. What should I use? Yeah, so we're already shipping React query, so we're not going to. I don't think you're going to do that. Like it's fun, but what's the what's the upside of doing that? Yeah, so this is kind of like mutation. I don't know. Actions can be augmented by route events. Okay, I don't know what that means. Yeah, this type of React is interesting. I'm seeing this kind of like more and more because people are like getting comfortable with TypeScript. I think like if you would have required this like in the early days of TypeScript, it wouldn't even work because everyone using namespaces. But even if you did, it was like, why? What? It's too much. Okay, yeah, preloading. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to use that in my thing, but it just in general, I think it's a cool idea to have preloading, code splitting. Okay, yeah, I think I saw someone talking about it. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you're still using React lazy, but you can kind of like cache the. You can start um, that import a bit earlier. Okay. Yeah, navigation plugin. I that's too complicated. Okay. Okay, they have a lot. I'm not going to go through all of that now, but we're going to get back to quick start. So, uh, creating a route. Okay, so we have this thing in. Uh, we have this thing in Astro, and in a sense, you could think of it as like index.html file in create React app. It will generate the kind of like loader for your React, uh, but you still need to do everything in React. And that actually also covers the like title tags and stuff. So yeah, we will need to figure out that one. Okay, so let's say that we're going to create uh, yeah, so I already have a folder here, survey.tsx. And yeah, I'm going to ignore all the stuff that we did before with like authentication and stuff. Yeah, so let's just remove everything and we're going to start with their thing. Okay, don't I have a copy to clipboard button? That's a bit unfortunate. Okay, so let's save this. Does it have a default export? No. So this is going to be survey. Okay, so let's do this and let's do okay. So will that work? Okay, it's compiling something. Okay, favicon. Why don't I have favicon? What's happening with favicon? Have this. Okay. Maybe I need to restart it because I was installing modules. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's let's make it work first. To have this. Okay, sometimes my just like my Chrome dies, so let's see if that's the case. Okay, so if I do this, server is not defined. Okay, that's good. Now server is defined, but something crashed. Uh, so document is not defined. Yeah, that's fine. So let's go here. So now we have some side effects that are like doing the document. Yeah, all of this stuff. So yeah, just don't do the document. Let's say that this is like false. Okay. Now the Safari is not working. I don't really know how to fix it. Okay, this like curl working. Okay, it does. And what does it do? This web page is not responding. Okay. Okay, interesting. So now let's try to read what is actually happening. So I have too many crashes at the moment, so let me just like comment everything out. Unable to render survey because it's undefined. Oh, interesting. Okay, I forgot to export the function. Okay, so this is fine. So we didn't need any of that React DOM stuff. We need the React router stuff. The first thing is we are creating a route. And this is crashing because we don't have a root. Okay, so what is root? Where did we get root? Okay, root is a component. So did that start working? Yeah. Okay, so let's define a root. It has a link and outlet. Okay. So it works now. Okay, so okay, interesting. So what does root go into? Because here I have router provider. Okay, so the router is dependent on some kind of layout, and it doesn't have to be. We could just create a an outlet and say, hey, it just shows an outlet. Okay, so let's create an index route. That's fine by me. Where do we put it? We do. Oops. Uh, yeah. So let's do just the index route. So what do we do with the route 3? Create a router. Okay, so we are using router type. Interesting. That's I still don't understand where everything gets connected. So our app is rendering Oh, okay. So here's where we pass um, our router. So this thing is what goes into this thing. Okay, so hello strict mode. I don't know if we used strict mode before. Okay, I think my Chrome is suddenly alive. Okay, so what's happening? Do we have any errors or? Okay, so our router, it's possible that it's just like not matching to anything. So if you would add anything, okay. So I think this should be layout, just so it makes sense for me. No, it's not matching. Okay, interesting. Can this route be like a star or something? Yeah, it's still not matching. So okay, so it's just an empty page. That's interesting. My dev tools don't even show up. I don't know if I like just broke everything. So if I write something here, showing up, but not exactly in the way that I'm expected to do. Okay, I also don't do client load, I realized. So I don't run anything on the client, which is interesting. So if I render it on the server, it only returns the 1 to 3 part. Only returns this part. So does it have anything to do with the strict mode? No, it's empty. It's really, really empty. Right. So why wouldn't it work in SSR? Um, yeah, I think we're missing something. I actually have like an example of using React Router before, but I kind of want to find it anyway. Yeah, so this one is using app enter server. Yeah, this one is using React Start, which we don't really need. Okay, I think I have to find the version that I had. Now the question is, where would I find it? Okay, it could be TanStack something. Okay, this was created way before. So this one could be not working because they just changed too much stuff. Yeah, but like router dehydrate stuff is we need this. So do they have SSR example? So this is example. I don't know if that's like the same example or not, but yeah, it's using uh, it is using React Start. TanStack start. Okay. Uh, so what we're doing here? So yeah, I remember that this one didn't like completely work, and it was using loaders. I also know that React router is not that much easier to set up. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take uh, TanStack Router repo, and we will just find a version that worked. That's our plan so far. Oh, what's happening? Can't find. No, there's. Do you want to install it? No. Well, I just remember it, or yeah, I'm using FNM, which is like a fast node manager, which is written in Rust, obviously. Uh, yeah, so speaking of like versions, so this one was a few days ago. Yeah, so here's the break, like February, April, and now, yeah. So he didn't work in it for like a month and a half. Okay, so yeah, that's kids why you don't do merge requests and do pull requests, because it's like, okay, what's happening? Which part of this thing is even the right one? Okay, so we're going to do examples React. I think it was called Astro, so we will just hope that that was how it. No, well, okay. So let's just do this one and let's see if we will. A basic SSR. Okay, they have basic SSR. I mean, should we just go to basic SSR? So I'm looking at beta branch and its examples basic SSR. Basic SSR. Okay. I don't know what HTML means, and it's not going to be it's not going to be obvious from README. Okay, so so it's using Express entry server. Okay, I think that's where we should be looking at entry server. So, and it starts with this function render, which does get router. And get router, interesting. Create loader. Yeah, we don't need loader, so I don't know if that's important or not. Maybe we do. I don't know. uh, yeah. So this looks familiar now. Okay. So we have this router. Okay. So let's look at the entry client, I guess, and let's just compare to what we got so far. Uh, yeah. So my plan was to find Astro. Okay. So This is the name of the thing. Okay, checkpoint. Okay, so was it there in that version then? Okay, check out this version in that folder. Okay, I'm going to call this a success, except that if it will turn out that it uses start. Yes, it does. Okay, so let's look at what we had before. Yeah, all of these files look like compiled. Introduce start. Okay, so if I maybe check out this version. Yeah, fun times with compiled output. Okay, so let's go to package JSON. Let's search for start, and we don't have it yet. Okay, great. We have dot start, which is also problematic. Okay, let's figure out where this. Okay, so okay, I should just remove everything. I think. Okay, let me just remove everything. Check out. Remove netlify. Now. Okay, so this looks more like an example that I used before. And the idea is here that we are creating request handler. Okay. This is not entirely wrong, but it smells like a start again. Smells like stuff that. Okay, so what is server context? Hydrate TSX. Wow. Yeah, that's too frameworky. Okay, so we just want to look at this file, I guess, and see when it went crazy with that file. Yeah, so it was .astro instead of .ts before. Okay, so I need the version where it's .astro. Oops, what's happening? Oh, it's path .astro. Yep, good. So this is where he removed it. Okay, February. Okay, February is where things should be in a way that I remember. Okay. Okay. Very good. So yes, this is more like it. So I can actually open that in VS Code. Oh, someone chatted in the chat and I didn't see it. Need Windows. Okay. Uh, you would need to explain what that means. This was 20 minutes ago, so I already forgot everything I was talking. Okay, so okay, so let's go to the we are not going to use like everything that they're doing, but we need to use something of what they're doing. Uh, which could be, it could mean that I'm like doing it wrong, but okay. So this one is using SSR. It's actually, maybe it's not, maybe I'm wrong that I'm trying to do it with SSR. Maybe it's more fun if it's not SSR. I mean, like React TanStack Router is SSR router. It's not fair if we're not going to make it work like SSR, but maybe it's not bad. Okay, so hmm. Okay, so this is my secret knowledge. So this is my secret knowledge. My secret knowledge is that if you go to version 76, you can actually get the working SSR Astro, but we're not going to use it right now. We're going to um, we're going to just follow the stuff that uh, we're just going to follow the stuff the documentation has. And what it has is that if we don't do client thing, it's just going to be empty. But if we're doing client, we're just like loading an empty page and then we're showing something. So I think that's the approach that we're taking, and it's not bad. If I could say anything, is I'm going to say that it's not bad. And the idea is that this React router, when it's doing everything on the server, I guess just router like is not initialized or something. So you can do some stuff, but not all of the stuff. Okay. I just wanted to check if we are running into strict modes, because I think Astro is doing strict mode by default. So I don't know how to check it. This component is not running in strict mode. Okay. So if I do this, okay, it still shows that it's not running in strict mode. Well, then I don't know what to do. How do I even check if it's? I think it's like use effect should be doing uh, two passes if it's in strict mode. Yeah, so it's printing out twice. If I remove it, printing out once. Okay, strict mode it is. So now let's go back here. So we were in quick start. We got all of this stuff. I removed root to layout because that made more sense to me. And yeah, I guess router just doesn't know what the URL is, so it doesn't know what to render when we're doing SSR, and which makes perfect sense. Um, yeah, so if you do curl, okay, where did I do curl? Here. Yeah, so right now it's just empty page. It's just like real SPA in strict mode. Okay, great. So this is going to be like our layout, and what did we leave uncommented about? Okay, let's uncomment about, and uh, we don't need this. Okay, so So now the question is about URL. So the URL that we want should be survey. Yes. But if it's survey, whatever that was, rate experience, it's no longer matching. Okay. So far so good. We need to figure out nesting. I think that's the, oh yeah, DevTools. Okay, so did we install DevTools? Yes, we did. So now let's import it. And let's only importing and using DevTools in development. Production, no. React lazy load and development. Okay, interesting. Why do you need to lazy load development? Using inside React program. The easiest way to DevTools to work is to render them inside of root route. Okay, so this is how you import the module. I don't know if you really need to do all of this stuff to skip it in production. I wonder if that's true. Okay, so this is way to render them inside of root route or any other route. Okay, so what's the root route? Root route. Okay, so root route. Interesting. So they just define it here. They're skipping the layout stuff and they just define it here. I don't know if that's like a good or bad practice. Okay, so we don't need this layout anymore. And we need this DevTools. And we want to only send DevTools when it's not in dev. Okay, so now, okay, showing up here. Yeah, that's fun. Okay, yeah, so that's fine. So manually passing the route is, if rendering DevTools inside isn't your cup of tea, router prop accept the same anywhere on the page, not just inside the provider. Interesting. Yeah, so the floating mode is what kind of like, I don't understand. Set to true if you want DevTools to be open. Panel props, position, defaults to bottom left. Okay. Okay. This is so confusing. I think it just just talks about some other option. So panel props, close, toggle, position, router. Yeah, so do I care if I import it here, or is it better to import it here? I also need to check how do I make sure that it's not sent in production build. So let's start with build. And okay, pro tip, if you go to astro config and if you do pit build sitemaps, source maps, you will get source maps when you build this. and hopefully I have my command in the nope. So source map. Oh, yeah, I removed it. Source map explorer. I removed my Volta installation and decided to switch to FNM, and for a good measure, I just like removed Node from my computer like completely, including all of the like global installs. So gzip skip border something, no border checks, and let's go. Vercel output static dot astro everything. Okay, cool. So propel auth client gRPC survey. Okay. Okay, so I guess this is what we're going to do. We're going to remove this and build it again. And run source maps again. Okay, it's 5 kilobytes smaller. Now we just need to hunt what is the thing that is 5 kilobytes. Okay, survey. Yeah, TanStack DevTools. Okay, so this is where they are, and they take 7 kilobytes. So now if I do this, if I do import meta and def, and I compile it, I start it, click on the survey again, and there's no that other thing. So that's what I thought. I don't know why they needed this complicated thing. Yeah, it works fine in Astro. Okay, so we did all of that stuff. What are we missing? Routes. So route has things. So in each route has parent route. Okay, so how many parent routes we're talking about? 2. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if I make about page to be uh, related to index route, how does it work? Probably need to remove from here. Okay, so this is my slash route. Okay, let's look at the debugger. So how do I look at the debugger? So active matches. Okay, so I know that it doesn't match, but why doesn't it match? Okay, so it shows welcome home. But how do I do this one? So it's matching. Okay, so what's the other survey? Something. great experience. Yeah, so what if this one is star? Hmm. Okay. So far, yeah, I need to do add children. Yeah, so in my index route, uh, when I do my index route here, I need to add children. Okay, interesting. So now if I go back to slash, and if I go to survey, okay, so it matches, but in the index route, I forgot to do outlet. If I do outlet, it's going to be hello from about. Okay, so it's not that fun to do that. That's probably where the file-based routing comes in, because I need to keep track of this relationship in two places. It If I skip it here, it doesn't know how to build a path. If I skip it here, it doesn't know what routes I have inside of it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let's read just a bit of understanding everything correctly. So you start with a root route, then everything should have an outlet. If component isn't supplied, it will render an outlet automatically. Interesting. I mean, what's the point of that route then? Probably to do. Huh. Yeah, so this one is already a layout, and this one is new layout for me. Okay. So can I have a path here? I have a component. Why can't I have a path? Yeah, for root I can do a path. That's slightly inconvenient. Yeah, so root path. Need to add children to it. Okay. Sure. Okay, so routes. Regular routes can be created calling route. In order to receive type and runtime information of their parents, they need to refer to the parent. This may seem a little strange. Long story short. Yeah. Uh, Once created, final route 3 can be assembled using the. Yeah, it's funny that you're like building it again. Yeah, so now we create a router. You register types all together now. Yeah, did all this stuff. So this is the syntax that it understands. Route path ignored leading and trailing slashes. Okay, so don't write slashes. Except that you have to do that. Okay, that's good. That's a bit confusing. Uh, about. Yeah, that seems just like a bug. Why would it? Okay. Uh, Inner valid can be used without creation additional components. For example, Sure. Needing to nesting inside our other components. Okay. Yeah, so when I created this component, why didn't I refer to the parent? Okay, I don't know if that's like just a error in documentation or I can do that. I can sometimes not show. It's a root. Okay, it's root. So the root ones don't need to show parents. Why not? Okay. Uh, so create the root route, and by default it uses outlet, which by the way we can use. We can use that thing if we move this into index. We can just remove a component here. Yes, and we can uh, we can yeah, except that we can't do this. Has to be slash. Yeah, that's I think that's just a bug. So if it's survey, it's going to work fine. And I can do slash here. No, I can't do slash here. And do dot here. No, I can't. What? So I want to do child route. Oh yeah, it has to be. Yeah, I'm on the wrong route. This one. Yeah, so if I do slash here, it's matching. But if I do empty string here, yeah. I mean, yeah, that seems just like a bug. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, sensitivity. If you want your routes, yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay, so if you want to be weird and match path with a different case, you can set routes case sensitive to true. Okay, so let's go back. So it's survey. I'm not sure what's happening. Okay, so route is called index path because targets blah blah blah. Yeah, so you have to do index routes, but for the other ones you can skip the slashes. Okay. Static paths. Static paths. We know what static paths is, so now dynamic segments. Road can have starts followed by a label. So can I do something like that? Yeah, but can I do this as just like a path right away? Splat route could always remaining URL. For example, okay, splat routes can also match the path. Sure, by both. We know that while most common character to represent wildcat, they do not play nice with file names. Those cases, interesting. So it's basically the same, except that it will turn it into a star. Okay, I don't know what any of that means. Uh, okay, so for if no route matches. Okay, pathlet layout routes. Routes that do not have a path and instead have ID. Okay. So can a route have an ID? No, it can't. Okay, so I have a different layouts. I'm managing children. Layout route will not add or match any path at all, but will wrap routes with any elements. ID required because every route must have unique, especially if using TypeScript. Okay, I have no idea what's happening. So my root route has a layout route, which has ID layout, and then it has AB gives. Okay, those have paths. Okay, I don't know what that means. So if I don't want my index route to have a path, I can instead give it ID index and it should work the same. Yeah, so this has ID root, and this one is index. Okay, but that's not how the path name goes. This is this is crazy. So I can create index route. Okay, so what will happen if I do path as well? Path and okay. So the path is survey, but AD is index, and now this one is slash index. Okay. Okay. Uh, it's fun. It's probably the same thing that like they do with Next.js and like parentheses. So like, hey, this is just a thing that adds a layout, but it doesn't change the path. Okay, that's blowing my mind a bit, but I think we're holding route matching. Okay, so it will do blog post ID slash and new then slash the star then about. Okay. I should have read this, but this is the order that everything should be done. It's slash, then log, then slash, then all the static ones, but then dynamic ones, but all the statics, but then catch-alls. Yeah, so the catch-all is the using that route tree, let's follow the matching process. Yeah, that's fine. During the matches, layout routes are treated as if they're flat. If a route is not found, yeah, I don't know if that needs an example or something, but okay. So yeah, so let's build some links. I don't think we have any links here yet. Okay. Um, right. So this is not really index, this is more like layout. Again, so was the root route. But okay. So this is app route and route. Okay, I think my feeling is that all the route stuff should happen on top. That's where you like structure everything, and then you show the implementation. You're like, hey, I'm in layout. Control click, I'm in layout. Okay. So now that we have all of this stuff, yeah, it was funnier to not funnier but more fun. It was easier to build everything like a tree um, in React Router, where we're like, hey, this is the thing inside of this is the other thing. I understand why they're doing it this way, but yeah, interesting. Yeah, so root route, index route. Should this be layout then? It, I feel like it should be, but maybe it should be an index. Okay, so about route. Okay, so I know that it's not index anymore, it's survey route. But it's technically an index, so I don't know. Maybe like this one is index, right? So I have surveys, and this is okay. So let's call this one index. This one is survey, even though this is pointing to index and this is pointing to survey. Okay, I think it's fine. I think we're doing fine. So we can render all of this stuff, and so I actually like asked ChatGPT to generate me all of this stuff. Wish I could close it so that I don't leak all of my like searches. Should probably write like a plugin to hide it, but hey, I didn't do that. So yeah, so this is like welcome to our survey. Uh, so this is the survey route. So it's yeah, let's call it survey start, and then we can just copy this. Welcome to survey, start survey. Okay. I think I even asked it to make some designs. Yeah, I think it did. Can I just ask it? Um, make a similar design or start survey component. I I don't know what means, but you can indulge me. Okay. Yeah, so created some design. Confusing the router definitions. Yeah, so I I'm gonna say it, but it's almost like if they wanted to actually like generate that stuff and don't write it by hand, because they have their own uh, file-based routing, and so you just create all of this stuff here, and it will like generate the routing based from files. So you don't actually need to do that. Oh, star server. Okay, it's not actually that bad. Okay, so now this is not a button, this is a link. This is a capital link, and it has a to. And look, would you look at that? It actually like auto completes it. Yeah, Tanner is Tanner had a really good time uh, announcing all of the stuff that he's going to work, and then he kind of disappeared. Right. So I defined this server route. Now I need to. This is the best router. Yeah. So he said that he was inspired by this router, but I never seen it before. So save router for reactive TypeScript. Okay. So create a router. Use route. Okay. So what's user list? It's a component. Oh, it's like what you can link to. Oh no. That's the opposite. Okay, that's just a key. That's just the key that you defined here. But then you, yeah, having the same names is just like so confusing. Okay, so it's like the other way around. It's like slash is pointing to home, users are pointing to user list, and user details are pointing to user details. And then here, all the keys that are not routes, like it uses this one instead of the actual string. It uses like kind of like the uh, let's say like unique name. And then you can match it, and when the name matches, it will render a component. Otherwise, no. Okay, I'm not sold. I understand that it's a bit like cursor, and yeah, it uses pattern matching, which I should probably look into. Then first parameters from what? Oh yeah. That's sure has to do that. Okay, so yeah, so pattern matching in 1 kilobyte gzip. That's not bad. I miss the stuff from Elixir. Okay, so I have a server route. So this one should be linking to rate experience. Uh, so if I do it like that, like rate experience, it will say, hey, what are you doing? And I will say, I'm rating experience. TS patterns also. Have you used it? It looks nice, but yeah, I remember when I was looking into like Ramda or whatever, like TSIO, I just looked at it and I was like, okay, this is like a whole another language. I don't wanna learn it. Okay, yeah, so it's some boilerplate, but it's not a lot of boilerplate. So I think it's fine. Yeah, and if you write it like that, I think you will actually like see the tree. Yeah, the problem is that what's happen if I just like mess up the thing. So like my link is now wrong, but there's no like other place that will check that this is wrong. You use it very heavily. Okay, so I mean the question is, if you would to rewrite some code that you have written with JS pattern, like what is the pain point, right? So is it easier to write type safe code with JS pattern, or is it just like the code looks nicer, or you don't have to use like continue and break or whatever the things that are like how we usually use JavaScript. Okay, so we have this design. So now we're doing, yeah. So now if I click on it, no page reloads. Have you seen that? Oh, it's so cool. After doing everything in Astro, it's so cool. But yeah, so now we need to do this right experience component. Uh, so we're doing it here, and we're pointing the rate experience route to that component. Okay, so now we need to use state history. Okay, we don't need history. Please rate your experience. Oh, interesting. So it gave us a field. That's fun. Please rate your experience from 1 to 5. Okay. I have a few cases that were like parsers. Okay, but if it doesn't work out, I can easily write with regular TypeScript, so it won't be as clean. Yeah, so I'm guessing the good part about this is like the code organization kind of, so it doesn't look as messy. Okay, so we're doing on change rating, and then we're doing rating here. So I have a form that I'm submitting. Okay, that's a fun way of doing that. I mean, I don't know yet how I want to do that. Okay, Tanner Tanner has responded for some of my stuff on Twitter. Okay, so I mean, this is a good excuse to learn how to navigate without links. Uh, so we have links and we have navigation API. So use navigate. Okay, so I guess now the use navigate, and okay, I'm guessing from here. Now navigate should hopefully have the same kind of like type checking. Hey, this is not assignable. Okay. Does it do relative paths? That's interesting. Okay, it doesn't. Hmm. I don't know. That's good. Okay. What? Okay, I'm confused. What? The router navigate mod method. Where do you get router? Okay, link component. Blah blah blah. Use navigate when possible. Should be used. Use navigate returns a function that can be called to perform navigation, and navigate renders nothing and performs. Oh, it's like a redirect. Okay. Uh, it's most powerful navigation API. Similar to use navigate, it immediately navigates, but it's available everywhere Okay. I replaced for server-side redirects you. Okay, this is confusing for now, but okay. So what? Let's do this one then. It sounds like a fun way to navigate. So does not exist on type of router. Okay. Okay. So I see this. Okay. So okay, it's undefined. Uh, okay. So dogs are not. Dogs are not good right now. Relative links. Okay, so it shows you relative links, but you need to show from. Okay, interesting. So let's go back to this one. So it's from uh okay, so from survey route to okay, so it should have to be like ID, right? Okay. Okay, this is real confusing. Okay, slash survey is not assignable to mean survey. Okay, so the path, it works. Yeah, I don't know. I think none of this stuff seems to be working. Uh, post ID or out ID. Yeah, I don't know what to say here. I don't know what to say here, man. I don't think any of this stuff is working. Okay. Link preloading, preload intent. Okay, use navigate. Because of the link component built in around href, blah blah blah. Sure. Hook returns navigate function. And that navigate function takes an object, okay. Uh, it's weirdly hard to visualize complex route with this model. Yeah. As I said, I think the idea is that you're using it with file-based routing, and it's not that hard to visualize. So this is like the way that I'm trying to do this. So it's like, hey, I'm in a root tree. I have an index route, and that index route has some other route, and it has like this and this children. So once you write this thing, it will actually be kind of like tree shaped, and it's going to be fine. And as long as your all of your links are working, it should be like easy to just write the whole URL, and it's like, okay, that's the URL where I'm going. Okay, so this is what I was going to check. So do we have a function navigate? Yes, we do. So if I want to call this function, how do I call it? So what's going to happen if I just call navigate? That's what it. Yeah. So now if I do 2, Oh wow, this this is so silly. It give I can do props on the link because it just infers the type from the link. Okay. Yeah. So two, and now I can do to like this link, so I can go back to survey. So I fill in it in, and I'm going back to survey. Okay. That wasn't great. It didn't it didn't route me there. Uh, okay, let's start again. So I'm doing this. Okay, the router has died. Okay, so I'm writing it. I'm pressing enter. My URL has changed, but it still thinks that I'm in the same route. Okay, TanStack Router. I don't know how to say it, but I think you've done goofed somewhere. Okay, let's try with the link again. So I have this link. I go here, and I can go back. Okay, it worked though. That's the silly part. All of it used to work, or maybe it didn't. Actually, maybe it didn't work. Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. It worked when I was trying it before with Astro. So I don't know with like actions and stuff. I was doing like SSR and actions, and everything kind of worked. So what we're going to do is we will try to do client only, just to see if we just broke it somehow because of SSR. Uh, no, no, it just doesn't work. It just unfortunately doesn't work. Okay. Okay, people who wanted a poll, I'm sorry. It just doesn't work. Okay. This. I mean, okay. If I click on it twice, it works. Okay. Uh, is that strict mode something? No. Just need to navigate twice, and then it works. Okay. Not a deal breaker. Yeah, thank you. Someone had to. It was so close for the first like some time. Okay, so this is where we're saying goodbye. This is where we're saying, hey, it was nice trying it, but if it doesn't work, so idea, then stack router. Okay, so yeah, for React router, I actually have like something already working, so I can copy from there. Yeah, it's better be better. It's better be better. I think it's just we were just not lucky. I think just like one of the updates just broke something, and because Tanner probably like not testing it, and I'm not going to hunt for like version that works. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Okay, so you need to click twice for router to work. Facepalm. Okay. So what's happening here? Okay, that's another thing. Oh yeah, I guess when I was looking at those bundle sizes, yeah, so TanStack was 9 kilobytes, which like compared to next router is peanuts. So it's really cool. Okay, so we're going to push this. Not going to work. Benny from New Vegas. Hey Benny, what's New Vegas? Is it like a Fallout thing? That's not like a real place, right? It's just a Fallout thing. Yeah, I actually wanna play Fallout New Vegas sometime because everyone is saying that this is like that was the best one. But yeah, I played in two, I think, or one. I I, I forgot when I was like a kid, so I don't remember anything. And then I watched some people play like the newer ones, so I never really played too much. Okay. Okay, so that was fun. Uh, it's not as fun as creating a new branch called React Router. And our plan is to remove TanStack stuff and uh, so what's shenanigans this stream down anyhow? So my streams are very low shenanigans wise usually. Um, I will just quickly recap what happened. Is I'm working on a new project, and I needed uh, a router for it, and I made a Twitter poll, and it's like, hey, what should I use? And everyone uh, voted for TanStack Router, so we tried to use that. It didn't work. The idea is that we're using Astro, so Astro has its own. Oh, thank you
Benny
for
from New Vegas is now following.
thank you for follow. Astro has its own routing, but it's not client-side routing. So in practical terms, that means that if I go to like this page and if I click on settings, you will see like the spinner spinning. It's not like a huge deal, but some people don't like this. So I wanted to make a route that is going to kind of like showcase that you can build the other thing as well. And for that one, I need a router. Astro is working on their own client-side routing kind of like proposal, but it's been 2 months. I haven't heard too much from them. I mean, not me personally, but just in general. Um, uh, I actually did a stream before with uh, co-creator of Astro, and that one he was like, yeah, we're working on a where is it? Yeah, so like a month ago. Yeah, we're working on like client side routing, and I think it was almost 2 months ago because like as soon as he said it, like in the next few days, this RFC dropped or kind of like near it. I don't remember the exact. Uh, I bet I like 10% of the people that voted for it have actually used TanStack Router. Yeah, uh, I think like Tanner is basically the only person who is actually using it, and he's just like peeling it off from like his real like production software. That's kind of like the same thing that we have with QGP. Is like we're using it in production at Fogblender, but we're using like slightly different things. So I had to like make it a package, make it like a thing, write like docs and write. And by the way, speaking of docs, this is where I use React Router, and this is this is what we're going to steal now. And SSR works and all that stuff. So that answers the question about shenanigans. so, so we're going to go to docs, and there is this route that is doing the yeah. So it basically it passes the this one URL. So it passes the SSR URL, so like where we are right now, so that SSR thing knows how to how to render it. Oh, I'm using solid there, or I forgot. Where am I using React Router? Was it just like a branch? Oops. Okay, it's not going to be easy then. Wow. Okay, it's not going to be as easy as I thought then. Well. Okay, so we have components app. Okay, so SSR get context get static routers. Okay, we found it. It's not time to panic. I actually tried moving a big project that says stack router and it wasn't giving me more than this regular React router. Right, and the idea is that, yeah, so TanStack has its own loaders and routers, or loaders and actions, and because like, how do I say it? Because React router had to become remix router, it's like it just like made sense to do like more in router. In this similar way, uh, TanStack router needed to do all of this stuff as well. So yeah. So what did you do for like all of this, all of those like links and like linking routes and stuff? Yes. So this is what he's doing. This is exactly what he's doing, and that's his TanStack start. It's just Astro with uh, file-based routing and with TanStack router to do all of the loader and all that stuff. So it's basically it's kind of like a remix on top of Astro. Okay, so now that we have all of this stuff, what we're going to do. Thank you. I don't have the because I'm not using Twitch. I don't have the like the first time chatter thing, but I'm pretty sure this name sounds pretty first time chattery. So hi. It's not event router. It's page router. So um, if I'm on this page and now I go to this page, I should be showing like different data. And if you're talking about like uh, if you're talking about client-side routers, they usually do a lot of like other stuff when you when you click on the client side. So when you like hover on the link, it will like preload the page and all that stuff. So we're trying to put a React router inside of this thing so that we can build like a more of like a real real framework, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go here and just see what packages we need. It seems like it's just React. Well, it's not React, it's Remix now. Yeah, so maybe that part is outdated. So let's go to Remix Router. I think I was looking at like npm trends and just to see like how the like renaming is going. Yeah. Okay. So what are we doing? So we're doing something like this. This is low level. Okay. So where do you have your docs? Okay. It's not that either. Okay. Let's try React Router. Maybe that's like a better. Maybe that's a better SEO. Okay. So we want to start at the start. We want to start at like add install. Yeah, interesting. So it used to be React Router and React Router DOM. I guess now it's just a dependency. And I think you used to install history separately. Okay, so let's do that. Let's add a router. So this is going to be browser router. So we need to do better than that. um, yeah, so React router DOM/server. Okay, so let's start with that. I can click on it and it works. So let me disable this stuff now. I need to ignore a lot of stuff, otherwise it's going to be failing the build. But I don't know what yet. Okay, so the server part is actually stuff that we should be doing in this thing. Yes. Okay. Okay. So okay, I'm slightly confused how to do that, but I'm slightly confused why we need browser router here. Okay, this is a server side component. Okay, so this one, it doesn't pass us anything. Where does it get the routes and stuff? Get context. Okay, this is so confusing. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to rename that one to TanStack Router. We're going to go back here. We're going to say that it's survey. And so, okay, so I have two files now. So on this one, I will remove everything but survey. So this is how we're going to start this. Okay. Okay, so go back here. Go back to server, no setup, survey. Okay, account is not defined. Sure. Okay, so something works. So now we go to tutorial and we just follow the tutorial. So they're saying, hey, create a browser router, and we are going to be saying, sure, let's do that. And so this is what I do instead of that one. Yeah, so it doesn't work on the server anymore, but it should work with client only. Okay, the emphasis on should. I think we just need to restart because we were installing and removing modules. Probably just freaked out a bit. Okay, so unexpected application error. That's like one step further, but still not great. Uh, okay, so if I say server here, it's going to be hello world. Okay, perfect. So they're teaching us all of the nested routing stuff. I'm going to focus on SSR first. Okay, do they have a search? No, they don't. Interesting. Server side rendering. Okay. So with a data loader. Sure, but also without a data loader. Okay. First you need to. Okay, so this is our routes. Okay, so we're doing express server and we're doing render to string. Okay, so we need to get how do we manage what is getting sent where? We don't want to do render to string. So we want to do something like if import meta SSR. Okay, so now if I go back and make it client. Okay, so now I try to render it on the server, it crashes. Because we're still importing stuff, I'm guessing. So we need to have some like dynamic imports. So we can save this as like SPA something, and the idea there. Okay, let me think about it. Oh no, it's actually. I think it's actually pretty stupid. I think I just forgot to write return here. Okay, it's still crashing. Okay, uh, okay, uh, hmm. So I can do, so if I comment this out, still crashes. If I comment this out, works. So it's the create browser router that is crashing. Okay, so again, return this and comment out this. So now SSR works, but client one doesn't work. Okay, so it's not everything is lost. So if I do uh, Yeah, so like node SSR, then do this. Okay. So this one works. This one. Yeah, so it shows like static first. Okay, so I think we're doing fine. Uh, so route provider passing a route. Okay, so now let's figure out what the static router does. We need to import it from this. Okay, so and if I can do so what we were doing here, we were doing oh yeah, interesting. We had LED and we were showing different apps. Yeah, so for the static router, we were doing create static router. Okay, so if it's SSR, do this. If it's not SSR, do this. I guess I need to move this into router. No, router routes. Yeah, it should be a function. Okay. I don't know why it has to be a function. Maybe it was sending it twice or something. Okay, so now we have routes and we need context. Cannot find. Oh, I see. Okay, so where did we get create static router? Oh, I see. Uh, feel like we need this, but now that I'm not that sure. So we do that, and context, we do something else. So the context is query. Yeah, I remember creating this part. This is our context, okay. Okay. I have no idea what's happening here. Okay. So did we just call it from somewhere else? Passing prop could fix blah blah blah. Okay. Okay. So we have some of this stuff. Oh wow. Okay. Let's go back to this. Okay, so I have a static router tag, and it only requires base name in children. Uh, but you can also create static router. Okay. 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 So what's the app then? Okay. So let's do this. Let's leave context as is. Uh, let's just see what error we see. Not read properties when defined. Reading map. Okay. So I'm guessing we're doing something with context. Yeah, Google's, oh, I'm sorry, GitHub is probably not going to index my stuff. Okay, so yeah, okay. So let's say that it's just an empty object or something. Okay, context matches. Okay, so it has to be something real. We're not setting context here where I would expect it to be. Where are we setting it? Okay. Yeah. Okay, this is closer. So we have routes. We can create static handler from routes, and we can create a context if we have a request. Okay. And yeah, we need to do some redirect stuff. Oh, hi. I never have anyone in YouTube chat. So uh, that's like a rare occasion. So we'll watch the recorded session. Yeah, I'm not sure it's going to be like too too highly packed because uh we tried TanStack Router, we hit the wall. Now I'm basically showing that React Router is not much easier. The problem with TanStack Router is that I gave up on SSR and just tried to do it in client side, and it didn't work in client side. So that's where I'm sure that like React Router is going to work. So now I'm trying to open my like old project and try to figure out. I now know more than I did then in terms of like SSR Astro, but it's still hard. Yeah, you're there and there. Thank you for pumping my numbers. uh, okay, so I almost know how to get the request stuff. Um, so I'm not that afraid of it. So now if we have this context, we can pass it here. And okay, we have types. Router does not exist. Blah blah blah, not assignable. Okay, what's the dealio? children location. Okay, we need to use different router. Recently came across Astro and fell in love. Oh yeah, thanks. So what we do right now is we're working on b2b SaaSkit.com. The idea is to get this like uh, how do I say it? A lot of Astra templates are like pretty minimal, and I've seen some that are like more kind of like production ready, but they're not that production ready, even if you compare it to something like Create 3 app. So we are basically working on a thing where we have this website prompts with friends, and the idea is that you can go there and you can oh, I didn't create the organization here. uh, okay, I can show you the local version, right? The idea is there that you can create GPT prompts and you can share it with your team, and you can get like support through Fogbender. You can get like all the analytics and all the stuff that is kind of like business requirements, if that makes sense. That is like, hey, if I'm working on like a simple MVP kind of thing where I just need to get like I have this simple idea, like I wanna I wanna share GPT prompts, but I don't want to deal with authorization, like analytics, deployment, all that stuff. So I can just grab the existing kind of like template and just go with that. So it's I started working on it like less than 2 weeks ago, and yeah, we it, it turns out it's pretty complicated to do that. Yeah, and we're using Astro just because I think Astro is the most kind of like malleable thing. Whatever you're doing in Next, you're doing in Next. There's no kind of like other ways of doing it. But in Astro, you can kind of like uh, pick and choose, and if you have like your like existing code, you can easily kind of like port it to Astro instead of trying to trying to like rewrite everything. I've never used Astro, but looks like a good framework. Yeah, so I think the more that I use it, the more I realize that Astro is like uh, the guys who created Astro, they created a Snowpack uh, thing. Is that their website? Yeah. So this was kind of like Vite before Vite was a thing, and the more that I think about it, Astro is more like Vite, but for your kind of like full stack thing, where you can build like any website on top of it. But if Vite is only handling your client side, so you can like use Laravel and Vite, Rails and Vite, and all that stuff. Astro is doing kind of like full stack, but it's still kind of like pretty low level. I mean, they're working on like more higher level features, but yeah, uh, uh, I'm guessing like I'm working on even higher level in a sense. Okay, uh, right. So the Vite is like great, and Astro is using Vite, but Vite doesn't have that much like a SSR story. I know there is like a Vite SSR, but it's not it's not great. It's great if you're like building a framework. It's not great if you want to use it. Yeah, I Snowpack in 2013. Is it that old? I remember like I signed up for like Pika and all of that kind of like where you can like publish a package through URLs, so like what kind of like Dino does now. And yeah, you're working a long time as a developer. Yeah, I was bragging on Twitter today as like, yeah, like rolling your own auth. Yeah, I remember when I was rolling my own auth in 2018. So 2008, I'm sorry. I was like I was on my third year in college, and I was doing uh, basically we had in our dorms everyone had local network, but only few people had like internet access. So it was like a common thing of just like, hey, maybe like just one of us will buy like internet access and we will all like share it between our room or something like that. And I was like one of the biggest like sharers. So I just had like a website where you can go like pay for your thing, and you had like an account and a balance and like all of that stuff. So I basically wrote like kind of like ISP, and I had people like who could like collect money for me, who could like pay themselves. So it was like a whole business until they just figured out like a better internet in dorms, and like then just everyone like got the official one. But yeah, it was cool. Cool thing. You check my GitHub. Yeah, let's. Oh, I think I that. Yeah, I don't know. Like all the anime avatars are looking the same. Mern. So Mern is, what is it like? Mongo? I always forget. People that had better internet and distributed the whole block. Yeah, yeah. So I had like a one big like competitor. He had his whole thing where he was either like stealing internet, or he had someone to like who was like sharing internet from like building nearby or something. There was like a whole story, so I don't I don't remember any of that. But yeah, internet was wild back then. Okay, what's the order here? Bun. Yeah, I really like Bun. Yeah, but did he roll his own auth? That's the question. Okay, Lucas. So are you applying for like a front end, back end, or like full stack? It's so this looks like a kind of like a uh toy backend server. It's just distributed internet. Right. Yeah, the collecting money thing is like, yeah, but what do you collect? How do you know who is like who is spending what? That's the fun part. Turbo. Okay, so this is a fork. By the way, now I'm trying to, whenever I fork something, I will try to like remove it right away, or uh I will try to rename like the repo into like something fork, because I had like a few times will people will approach me and say, "Oh, so you have like this repo on GitHub, so you created like, I forgot, like Aleph.js." Someone said that they invented Aleph.js. I think I got one like where I invented Jotai. And yeah, it's truly hard to see here what is like a yeah. So forth from okay. So now I know what to look for. Yeah, I just did PR. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what you were doing for 2 years? Like what what was your job search like? Static router props. Okay, this is real confusing. So we're setting a context here, but now we have this SSR thing. So this is just the routes. And I have SPA. And SPA is already implementing routes. So what do I have on top of it? Yeah, I think it's in QGP. No, it's components app. Yeah, so I have get context, router and context. Okay, so this is static router provider. Okay, I think we're moving somewhere. Just been practicing and studying. Now I want to get a job. I don't know how to get one. I'm from Brazil. I think I have someone from Brazil in my like Twitter DMs. I'm really bad at remembering people. So how to get a job? So I can tell you how I did get a job, and that's a whole different story. Okay, so go back to this one. Function is not implemented. Okay, so what's the function? 32. 32. Oh, create static handler. Oops. Because it's from server. Okay. Astro is not defined. Perfect. Yeah, so yeah, you need to pass a thing URL. Okay. Okay. We got somewhere. Oh yeah, I heard about this like lying, but didn't know that you're lying. Old timer, yeah. So this is like the funny story of how I got a job. So the first time I ever got money, what happened is I built the thing and I didn't even know that I was going to be paid, and they just paid me. So I was kind of like just helping out. It was like in university, so they needed some like they had some project. They were like, oh, it would be cool if you had a website. I was like, okay, I can do it. And then they paid me. uh, After that, I just had a like a friend who was working on something, and he he had like a different person who said, hey, I like read a book about PHP yesterday, so I know how to build any website. And he tried and failed, they found another guy who was actually kind of like a developer, but he couldn't fix it. And then they asked me to fix like after both of them, and I fixed it in like an hour. And they were like, "Oh, can we hire you?" And another story how I got hired is I was just like in a mailing list, and they said, "Hey, we're looking for Erlang developer," and I said, "Yeah, I know Erlang," and they're like, "Okay, you're hired." So none of this stuff is like transferable to other people. I'm creating website projects similar work to some English learning. Okay.
bit, bit, bit,
Okay. Even I don't know
bit,
this one. Okay.
his, green,
I mean, how do you know which one? Yeah, this is silly. Green.
green, deed,
I mean, I'm picking the right ones, but like, how do
seed,
you know which one is the right
seed, seed, ease,
Wow.
meat,
I never even thought about
bitch, 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 bitch,
it. Okay, this is not safe for stream. But yeah, I mean, I think the answer is like just be in the communities, be around people who are hiring. And I got hired a few times where I just went through the process, and it was like I saw a job posting, I applied, they called me, and I did like some tasks or like some take homes, some like interviews, and they hired me. I don't know what else to say. It's just yeah, just try to get hired. We can see the difference. I'm from Russia originally, so I only started learning English in university. But yeah, for some reason, it's like for some reason I can tell the difference, even though it's kind of like impossible. Anyway, so we could make this thing work, and as long as I passed like the right URL. So I guess what I can do is, yeah, it's a silly question of how to how to pass context the right way, because context has to be specific to your request. So the version that I did before, it wouldn't work in like a real environment, where it just used like a global variable. What they have right now in Astro is kind of like global variables of their own, but it's not going to work with the framework. So for a framework, I need to pass it some other way. And I'm not sure how that works. I will try. Huh. How do you do that? Yeah. Okay, so we will call it that it like kind of like works. Um, okay, why does it accept it here? Response is missing the following things. Okay. Am I doing the wrong context? What's the story here? Fetch request. Create fetch request. Not that we have to first convert incoming request into fetch request. Okay. So that just creates a request though. Yeah, so yeah, in terms of the like job search, just search for a job. uh, just try to be like where people are hiring. Like in Russia, for example, like Telegram is really popular. A lot of people just like are looking for jobs in Telegram, right? So they have just like JavaScript communities, and all of them will have like a jobs kind of like section. And uh, a lot of people have like Discord communities and all of that stuff. So I think that's probably the way to do all of that stuff. Okay, so it has to be a fetch request. I don't know what's the difference between. That's just a silly name for the thing. Okay, so I'm going for 2.5 hours, and I'm not sure what I should be doing differently. I have this context. I have this context. Has to be const. Oh yeah, they hate const in the remix. I forgot. Okay, this context or response. Yes. So this thing returns handler. Okay. Did I mess something up? Oh, sure. Yeah, I see now. So I need to check if context is instance of response, because it like it will not handle the so uh, okay, what's the right way to do that? So context or response. Now it's just context. So if we do it like that, there are no more errors. Okay. So the tricky part is how to. Um, tricky part is that I need to create context uh, outside of the. I need to create context outside of the. Outside of the React component. But I probably don't want to pass it as a prop. Okay, so we will try one last thing. So here we will try to create this context. So we will try to do this. We don't need this anymore. We can just do astro request. We can get query from this thing. Oh yeah, okay, it needs routes. We can export it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What's happening? Uh, do I need to restart my thing? Okay. Create this. Okay. Right. So now we need to do this. It's done there to handle like redirects and stuff. Uh, what's wrong? Module. but it's not exported. Yeah, I forgot to save it then. So now the question is, what is this context thing they're talking about? So let's refresh this and let's see the context. So it's our current location, and I think it's just like it just passes the router or something. So let's just add more routes to make sure. So survey slash something. Okay, so 2, 3. Okay, now okay, so it's actually not that bad, and it's probably serializable. So let's say context equals context. I should look at the some remix uh, some remix website and just to see what kind of stuff they're doing. Should be in script tag probably. Okay, so remix context. State loader data. Okay. Loader data, okay. uh what else? I mean, I can just pick it up here probably. Yeah, so state loader data root routes. Yeah, so yeah, kind of the same stuff. So I guess similar stuff. Um, let's see how well that's going to be. Let's see how well that's going to be serialized. Okay. So now let's look at page source and okay. Yeah, search, all that stuff. Yeah. So I think it's static router hydration data. Interesting. So they're sending this anyway. Why do we need to render it? Yeah, that's a tricky one. So one thing we can do is we can try to turn survey into a function. Uh, and that function okay. Um, okay, so this is a function, the other returns a function. Okay, so this is the syntax. So now I can do all of this stuff here. Okay, so it's a sync function. Now, instead of passing it as a prop, I can get context here, or probably request. I don't know what's the easiest one to do. And what I can do here is to try to make const survey equals get survey and pass context. Okay. Now let me import this. Let me remove this. And this should be close now, so I don't need to send this anymore. Unable to resolve something. Okay, let me write to console log. Okay. I wasn't sure that that's going to work, but unable to resolve. Please open an issue. Yeah. And avoid this in prod. Okay. Yeah, the problem is that we only need that for SSR. And so for client thing, we need to show this. Okay, so what's the router? Okay. Okay, so that's the plan. So now tag. Okay, this is not how it works. Okay. Yeah, I wish I could do that in Astro. So for SSR, I need to do this. For the client, I need to do that. And there's no way to express that like that. Okay, so let's return to the version that where it almost worked, but we needed to pass. We needed to pass the context twice. Okay. The tricky part is that I want to pass something from Astro to Survey SSR, but Survey SSR doesn't have access to request anymore, and I can't pass it as a prop. So I can pass as a prop the I can pass context as a prop, but it's not that efficient. Okay, so that's not the version that I want here, though. So I want here, I want the... Yes, I want this. Context is not defined. Yes, so this is me passing the context. Then I don't have to create the context here because I'm creating it wrong. Yeah, I'm taking it as a... I'm taking the context as a prop. I don't need this anymore. So now if I'm doing SSR, I'm getting context from here. Context has a type. The type is static handler context. Okay. Now go back here. Yeah, for some reason my TypeScript is not doing anything. Okay. Yeah. So if I have context and I have SSR, I can do this. Otherwise, I'm doing client side. So I just have two routers. So one is here, one is there. Creating a router in a component is a bit silly. But here I don't know the alternative. So I can call it a browser. Router. Okay, I need to create it as a use state or something. Wow, this is this is going too deep. Yeah. Okay, so the router is a use state of the thing that creates a router. And yeah, so here I don't need this anymore. And here I always on SSR, so I know that I just need this one. Okay. Looking good so far. Oh, someone chatted. ChatGPT. What is ChatGPT? I missed everything. I was so busy thinking that I didn't see it. They're probably like importing too much stuff here. I mean it works, but it's not it's not optimal in many ways. So we are going to call this so we need this okay, so this is the only one that we use, and react router SSR. Okay, so what is my problem with it? Passes too much stuff through props, doesn't handle redirects. Okay, so this is our plan. Now we create a new branch that is okay. So this branch is SSR, and we can push it. And so this one is not SSR. So we are going to look into, yeah, so this is PA stuff, we don't need it. This stuff, we don't need it. So here we are going to remove everything server side. We're just going to create client only React. We don't need context. we don't need this context, we don't need this context, we don't need any of that stuff. So everything works so far. So now we go here. Because it's not SSR, we can do router equals this, and we don't need any of this stuff. We don't need any of this stuff, and we don't need any of the server stuff. Okay, so this is going to be our kind of like SPA thing. That is, yeah, that should cover our things. Oh, now I realize why I need the TanStack stuff. Oh my god. Okay, can I undo it? Probably not. Okay. Okay. It's not a problem. So I need to commit this. And I need to go to TanStack Router. Okay, wrong order. I need this. Yeah. So git check out this, do this. Okay, and now I'm moving it here. Now let me reset it back. Okay, so now let's just add stuff one by one. Okay, is that the wrong one? Okay, so what's happening? It's not TanStack Router. Okay. Well, okay. Okay, let's remove this, and we need to remove the. We need to rename this. Okay, I'm too lazy to do that now. This is the branch that I was checking out. Okay, so now it's the right. So I can close the not right one. I can reset the not right one to the right one. Okay, so now we need to create routes. The idea that we have a route survey, and it shows us start survey. I'm not sure what the syntax is. I think this. I don't know how to do lazy loading either, so we're not doing any lazy loading. Okay. Okay, so link is from React Router. Oh, it's not a link. Is it here? Okay, interesting. Right, start survey. Click on it. Yeah, we don't handle this thing yet. So let's start rate experience. Okay. I realize now that I need to rename my stream. Okay. I I will live through that. Use navigate. Something broke in my TypeScript. It doesn't like auto imports anything now. Right, so navigate should be just this. So now the path name was rate experience. We're not getting any fancy like autocompletes now, unfortunately. Okay, so where are we? So I'm writing my experience, I'm pressing next, and I'm going back. So who knew? Who knew that router can do that? Okay, so let me build it. We are going to compare bundle sizes, and that's going to be it. So source map explorer, let's go back to survey. So this is our React router. It's slightly bigger. It has all the actions and stuff. It's not that slightly. It's actually like, I think that one was 9, and this one is like 17. So it's like it's twice as big. And without gzip, I don't know how to say it. Yeah, so it's 40 kilobytes unzipped. And where's the React? Uh, yeah, React itself is 130, and React query is 7. Super JSON is 13. This one is 40. Yeah, it's not that good in terms of the bundle size, but not going to kill me. We all know that the right one is solid with uh, solid router. So this is what I use here. Uh, it's not going to show like exact values, but we can yes. Yeah, so if you are like minimizing bundle sizes, you should start with React. So this is party town. This is solid. Those are gzip numbers, but yeah, yeah. So okay, so those are gzip, and these ones are gzip, right? Yeah. So 17 for remix router, uh, around 9 for TanStack router, and around 9 for solid. But now, if you go to React itself, React is 40 gzipped, and solid is that solid. It's kind of looking pretty thick here. 17. Interesting. Why is it so big? So 5, 8, 7. Okay. So 5, 8, 7. Okay, so here it looks as 8 kilobytes. but here it shows as 17. So are those numbers not gzipped? So the router is in, yeah, so the router is a lot with a lot of other stuff. So the router is in 3BD. Okay, so 8 kilobytes, but here it shows as 15. Okay, so those are not gzip numbers now. Okay, so if we're comparing not gzip numbers, solid. Okay, but those are gzipped. uh, okay, so here's the thing that we should be comparing. Yeah, I should do it in Lighthouse, but it's a mess. Yeah, so we're comparing 130 kilobytes with 18 kilobytes, and we are comparing 45 kilobytes with 9 kilobytes. Yeah, that makes most sense. Yeah, if you care about bundle size, yeah, use solid. But on the other hand, that was like one of my tweets. I did a test for Fogbender, and basically I rewrote everything in React, Solid, and vanilla JavaScript, and it didn't like move the Lighthouse scores like at all. It's yeah, so this is like the bundle with React. So we're sending like 120 kilobytes unzipped, and here I'm just like not sending it. And it didn't change the scores at all. Yeah, so but it's like with everything. It's like for React itself is bigger than Solid, but then like all the packages are going to be bigger as well. So yeah, next time I guess we're trying TanStack for Solid. But yeah, given how hard it was to set it up, I don't know. I don't know if I want to try it unless I really need it. Okay, I think that's all that I wanted to talk about, and yeah, uh, I don't think anyone wants to see me doing SPA in React Router. That's the boring part. Given that I'm not even doing it, I'm just asking GPT to do it. Okay, so bye everyone, and yeah, see you on Twitters.